Okay. Yeah, I'm certainly, I'm assuming that most of this stuff will ultimately come through the state and then ideally to us. Sal, as long as you've sort of got the podium, do you want to talk about the one-stop program as well?
Sure. Thanks, Tom. So those of you who may have remembered over the summer, last spring and summer, the city took part in a local rapid recovery plan, or LRRP. We were one of the, I believe, 125 communities that took part in the program. And basically what it meant was we had a dedicated consultant that helped the city identify 12 priorities for downtown, for the revitalization of downtown kind of post-COVID recovery. So we did an extensive amount of work, held stakeholder engagement meetings with businesses, with landlords, with cultural and nonprofit entities, and kind of came up with a punch list of things that they would like to see come out of the program. And the goal was that, you know, if the state saw similarities with the 125 communities, they would take money that they were getting from the federal government to launch programs to help communities that were facing some of the same issues. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is that we were asked to submit an expression of interest. And basically what the expression of interest means is that if you met a deadline, which we did, you were able to submit up to five projects for consideration to be funded. And what you would do with those five is a quick narrative. Literally, it was an online form with 1,000-character limit. So not 1,000 word, 1,000 characters. So they count the spaces. So yours truly did all these narratives, and then we had to cut them down massively. But the good news is that we submitted five, and it came right down to the wire. And the mayor wanted, things that were kind of beyond downtown submitted as well. So one of the things that we submitted was asking for financial support for 2 waterfront parcels on our working waterfront, one I-4C2 and one being 112 commercial, both owned by the city, but they need work, oftentimes seawall repair, maybe soil testing, just general work that's going to be expensive but needed, no matter what you're going to do with those parcels. The second thing is
how much money was asked for those?
I'm sorry?
How much money was asked for those?
I have to look into the total if we asked for a specific amount or if we asked just in general saying we needed help for those. I don't remember I don't think we put a dollar amount to it. We just said that here are the list of things that need to be done for those projects. So I worked with Greg on that. The second thing is we heard a lot from businesses on Condolin Road about the condition of Condolin Road itself, and also the lack of any kind of sidewalk for employees to walk on, lack of lighting. And there's, one company in particular that is potentially going to expand. And if we want to make this a friendly place to do business, little things like sidewalks and lighting, especially when it gets dark early and when there's snow, having people walk on the side of the road is something that you don't want, especially during the winter. So that we did ask for just over $1 million for, so it would be repaving sidewalks, not in a traditional sense, but sidewalks that Mike Hale had a term for it, kind of like a raised area of a sidewalk, not a traditional one because trucks might not be able to clear it if they were backing up. And then also lamps on the existing poles. So the goal is to see if we could get funding for that to support those businesses there and make it more pedestrian friendly for employees. There are several co-op employees that come, like students looking to get into the trades, and they're not driving. And so having them walk, it's somewhere, easy and safe, seemed like a really good thing to do. So those were the ones that definitely are in EDIC's purview. And then the other three, one included requests for a downtown management organization. Several businesses have said there's a lot of, the city does some, good things there in the chamber and nonprofits, but there needs to be an overall downtown management entity to support the growth of downtown moving forward in this kind of post-pandemic era that we're entering. Another one was a traffic and parking study for downtown. Almost every single business we talked to said that that was an important issue. That's something that I think needs to be done professionally by an independent third party to move us kind of beyond anecdotes, and then promotion of vacant storefront support, and potentially along with that pop-up program to support retailers and create a path for entrepreneurship, especially for women or minority-owned businesses, that they might be doing something great at home, out of their home or online, and they want to experience something in a storefront. But as you know, a traditional commercial real estate lease, and Ruth knows better than anybody, a landlord's going to want, a significant commitment to when they're talking about a commercial lease, or they're going to want to see a track record of successful business. It's not like renting a one-bedroom apartment, so oftentimes these entrepreneurs, there's a block, but they can't get in. So this program would work with, some selected landlords and reducing some of those barriers by doing the paying for build out in advance, working with them to do more of a reduced rent and an easier lease. So those are some things that we asked for support. They weren't full grant applications. They weren't anything other than us asking the state, is this something that we could potentially get support on? And they're supposed to come back with 2 of those 5 and encourage us to apply for those. So that was submitted. So we're waiting to hear back from them.
Sounds great. Let's cross our fingers.
And at the appropriate time, if we do, move forward, I'd love to talk with everybody at the EDIC and see if we could, put our heads together and put, the best case forward to get those funds for Gloucester. If it's something that makes sense to this board and aligns with the mission. All these things are in economic development. They're all needs that the city has, but there's never any money, to do these things really. So it would be great to get any of these done. And there's like a domino effect, right? The traffic and parking study informs development downtown that will, affect all these different things. Or when we do wayfinding and new signage, it's dependent on, so there's a lot of things that are dependent on one another to make it work.
Yep. Great. Anybody have questions of Sal?
When were you expecting feedback on that, Sal? Is there any committed decision timeframe?
I think we're supposed to get it within a couple weeks. They there was another deadline, I think is next week, if you were just to submit a project for feedback. So we got our 5 in, and you know, we're hopeful that we'll get 1 or 2 funded, and you know, go from there. So yeah, hopefully that will come soon, so we can make the fill out the full grant application.
Thank you. Any other new business?
It's not really new business, but especially with Sal's on the line, he might know more, but the Santander building,